Have you ever wished that somebody just wouldn't show up to your call? Have you ever wished that people would just no show you more often so you could take less sales calls and make less money? Well, if that's the case, you're in luck because today in this video, I've got an entire list of things that you can implement today to make sure that you get less shows and ultimately get a 0% show up rate because you and I both know that that's what we all secretly want. So without further ado, let's just dive right in. First things first, to make sure you get a 0% show up rate is do not tell the prospect what the call is about. Don't tell them what's going to happen. Just leave them clueless and thinking about what could happen because all this curiosity will make them, I shouldn't say show because we don't want that, make them not want to show, right? Because they're going to get overwhelmed. So that's what we want to do, okay? Second thing, do not frame the call as something beneficial to them. What we should do is frame it as something that wouldn't help them, right? Frame it as, hey, this call won't help you. It's probably going to waste your time. You probably don't want to show up, right? We don't want to relate it to any of their problems. We don't want to relate it to their outcome or anything they're looking for. We don't even want to frame it at all. We just want to leave them up in the air guessing about what the call is about because that way they won't show up. If they don't know what the call is about, why would they even take their time to show up to the call in the first place? So make sure you do not frame the call. And if you do frame the call, frame it as something that will not help them. Third thing is do not remind them. Do not tell your prospects when the call is going to be. Do not remind them. Do not send them any sort of messages, emails, etc. Don't remind them. You don't want to help them remember that there's going to be a call because if you help them remember, they might actually show up, which we do not want to happen. Number 4 is do not talk to them. In between the time you book the meeting and in the time of the actual meeting, do not talk to them. Don't call them. Don't text them. Don't email them. Don't follow them on Instagram. Don't hit them up on a different social media platform. Don't have any sort of communication. You do not want them to remember that they are going to have a call with you. So you want to completely eliminate yourself from their life so they completely forget about you and no show you come the time of the call. Number, I think it's 5 or 6 here. Do not book the call in fast. You want to wait. You want to wait as long as humanly possible. Ideally, book the call in for 1,000 years from now. Because guess what? You and them will both be dead. So you won't have to worry about them showing up to the call because you guys will both be expired and out of this universe. So try your best to delay the call as long as possible because the longer you delay, the more likely they are to forget or have something come up or whatever the case may be, or not even care about the call in the first place, right? So delay it as long as you possibly can. If you book it in earlier, they might actually remember. They might actually care. They might not get as busy. So you want to push that call weeks, months, years, centuries, decades, however long you possibly can to ensure they do not show. I forget what number we are because I'm getting overwhelmed with all these tips here. So we're on whatever number 6, 7, something like that. Is do not give them value. Do not give them any sort of reason to believe that you may actually help them on the call. Do not give them any sort of reason to believe that you may possibly be someone that could actually help them. You don't want to do that because if you plant the seed that you may be good at what you do, right, they may actually show up to the call. So do not give them value. Do not make them like you, right? If they like you, they may even just show up to the call just because they like you. So do not do any of that. Number 8 that I've written down here is do not add it to your or their calendar. Don't send them a Google confirmation, right? Do not send them that. You do not want them to add it to their calendar. Do not get them to, don't tell them to manually go in and add it to their calendar. Don't tell them to check their spam email inbox to look for the Google invite. Do not tell them to confirm the meeting on their end because if you do that, they're going to have it on their calendar. And if they see it on their calendar, they are way more likely to join. So we do not want them to do that because then they might actually show up to the call. Okay. Number 9 is do not make the call easy to join. Right? We want to add as much friction as humanly possible for them to join the call. And so what this could look like is, if you think of a phone call versus a Zoom call, it's a lot easier for someone to pick up a phone call than it is to join a Zoom call. So you want to do Zoom calls and you want to add as much friction, maybe even do use a different software no one's ever used before because then they have no idea how to use it and make sure they have to sign up and create an account beforehand because if you have to do that, they are way more likely to actually not show up to the call. So make the call as hard to join as humanly possible. Number 10, I believe is what we have here, is do not send them the link to the phone. As a matter of fact, don't send them the link at all, right? A lot of people are way more likely to check their phone than their email, right? And so what you do not want to do is do not send the link to join, if you're doing Google or Zoom Meets, to their phone because then it makes it easier for them to just click and join. So do not do that. Okay. As a matter of fact, don't even send them anything. Don't even tell them that the call is happening, right? Don't text them when the call is starting, right? Don't email them. Don't have any sort of communication. Do not do that because if you do that, they will show up. And if you give them the link and make it easier for them to join, they're going to show. We do not want that to happen. One of the last things I've written down here is do not confirm the call with them. right? On the day of, on the hour before, whatever the case may be, do not text them, do not call them, do not confirm. We don't want to confirm with the prospect, right? Because if we confirm, one, they're committing. And now if they commit, they're way more likely to show up. And also, now you're reminding them once again, hey, the call is at this time. Are you going to show up? Yes. Okay, cool. Which we do not want them to do. Okay. So do not confirm the call with the prospect, right? Don't confirm. Right, tell your AI chatbot to message them, but you do not confirm with them manually. Right, don't do anything of that nature. Okay, do not confirm the call. Right, leave it up in the air. Make them guess if you're even going to show. Right, and then guess what? If they're not even sure if you're going to show, they're probably gonna be like, oh, well, this guy's probably busy. I haven't talked to him. I forget, whatever the case is, and they're probably not going to show. And that is how you can get a 0% show up rate. If you implement everything we just talked about, we can almost guarantee that you will have no one show up to your calls. So if you just do that, right, and actually we'll have another bonus tip for you. Decrease the number of calendar availability. Right, most people have open calendars, right? They have a calendar that's open for 3 days and they're open for almost every hour of the day. Don't do that. Block off your calendar so there's barely any spots to choose from. Right? Because if there's barely any spots, one, most people won't book, and two, if they do book, they're going to pick a time that probably doesn't work well for them. And if they pick a time that doesn't work well, guess what? They probably won't show up. So that's another really good tip is make sure you limit your calendar availability so there's not much choice, because there's not much choice. They're going to pick a time that doesn't actually work. So there you go. There you have it. That's the sauce. That's the stuff I've never seen anyone talk about this stuff ever before on YouTube. Like literally never. This is a once in a blue moon. You're going to get a video like this. It's going to give you so much value and how to get a 0% show up rate. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you can use this to help yourself make less money, close less clients, talk to less people, and ultimately live an even more amazing life. Okay, if you have any questions, you comment them down below. I'm more than happy to help you out. And otherwise, take care and enjoy your day. Peace.